have to cut this out and have a look at the hull. There's a hole, there's a hole, there's a hole.
I'm Taryn, this is Logan, and this is Max. Our life rarely goes as planned, and this story is no different. But we are determined to rebuild our beautiful steel boat, even stronger than she was before. And we're bringing you along with us. The first step to removing the bulwarks was actually taking off the jib track.
If you own a boat and you're constantly out cruising, or you're liveaboard, or you're just going for extended trips, you should own a Unicorn. So this is a Unicorn brand, but it is an impact driver, and it looks like this. And what you do is you have different bits. You put the bits in here, you hold on to this, and you hit this end with a hammer. It is a lifesaver. I don't think there's any other tool out there that can get frozen screws loose. So slotted screws, Phillips screws, they just, stainless going into aluminum, or stainless going into mild steel, or mild steel going into either. Anyways, dissimilar metals, they freeze up, they get corrosion in the threads, and basically weld themselves. And this is the #1 tool that I have found to just break them free. If they don't come free with this, they're not coming free. So then you should probably drill them out. Heat works, but isn't always an option. But yeah, impact drivers, necessity, in my opinion. So you find whichever one fits in your screw head. See, fits perfectly on either side. That is the one you want to use. You put that bad boy in there. You put that guy in there. You hang on to this. And we'll make sure we're going the right way first of all, because there's a forwards, a reverse, or a right and a left on this. So when you hit it down, you want it to unscrew. Now, I think that started to come loose. Also, it usually comes with a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 driver. And like that, it just comes out. Got that one too. Nice.
And then it was time to begin the cutting, which was done with a metal blade on a circular saw and the grinder. Well, that's weird.
What's that?
What is that? Is that, oh wow.
That is all fluid film.
Wow, it looks like honeycombs.
It's so gross.
Yeah, it is gross. Holy crap, there's so much of it.
Yeah. That is fairing compound.
Wow, hey?
There's a brand new patch.
Funny how it's just like all this fluid film up here, and then back there, there's just rust.
Yeah, well, it couldn't make it past all the piles of rust, so like it started to react with the rust up there, and it just turned into a solid.
Well, maybe along here then there won't be as much to take out, hey? Under here.
I think it's too little too late. Because I mean, like the state of this thing is just...
What is this compared to the other side? As far as like...
I don't know until I chisel all this shit out of here. I honestly can't tell. Everything is hot though.
Yeah.
This diamond blade that we're trying out,
It's holding up a lot better than the other one.
holds up really well, but it doesn't cut.
What do you mean it doesn't cut?
Like you have to force it in there like as hard as you possibly can and stall out the grinder. Like I popped the breaker on it. And I was doing like maybe half an inch per minute.
Ooh.
So to do that, whatever this is, 12-foot section, took like all morning. But it is thicker than that's meant to cut. So, shitty, but it is what it is. There's nothing left on the bottom of that. It's all full of holes all the way along.
Brutal.
That's fairing compound, epoxy fairing compound that's been jammed in there to seal it up. There's a bunch of stainless patches, but I got the cut nice along the top this time.
That's good.
It'd be easier to work in there.
Yeah, you'll be able to get in there closer, hey? It's just insane the amount of fluid film and rust that's in there.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna toss this down.
Okay. Whew. Turn the light on. The motion sensor light went on.
It broke in half over there.
Broke in half. Oh, in the center. Oh yeah, right there.
Oh.
What? Oh, did you just step in the fluid film?
Yeah, my foot doesn't quite fit between the cabin top and the bulwarks.
Especially when there's fluid film taking up a bunch of space. Gross. So then began the job of cleaning it all up. Fluid film was put into the bulwarks as a warning system. The idea was that if we saw it on the deck, we would know that there were holes in the bulwarks and something needed to be fixed. Although this did work somewhat as we ended up with fluid film on the decks, you can see that it was definitely not a foolproof method. This chunk of metal here looks like it's channel iron, but it's not. This was a chunk of rust that came out of the bulwarks. Well, it's been about 3 weeks since my initial issue with tendinitis from doing the same thing that I'm about to do now. So we'll see how long it lasts before my wrist flares up. Hopefully I can get this done before the wrist flares up, but we'll see. I have tendinitis from whatever this chunk of like muscles and tendons is right here. And it like runs all the way up to my elbow, so my whole forearm pretty much was out of commission. But it is feeling quite a bit better now, so I'm going to attempt this, and I'm not going to push it. So if my wrist starts hurting again, that'll be it for me with the air hammer or the air chisel. Wish me luck. We ground and cleaned to get the decks prepped for replacing chunks of it, as well as so that we could just see where there were holes. Holy crap, Oli!
Yeah, that one was bad. Really bad. Look at the rust.
Yeah, that's a crazy
Like
amount of
it's
rust
still
here.
structural rust.
Yeah.
Holding everything together. I cut all the way through the metal till there was no sparks left and the rust was still holding it on.
Crazy.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Well, this is the worst section. So...
We still have that bit back there, which I don't think is in very good shape.
No, but this was still where all the holes were. This is where we patched a year ago.
Oh yeah, this is where... Right here is one of our patches.
You can't even see.
And by patches, I mean just epoxy.
Yeah, we tried to fill the
just jammed
holes.
some stuff in there until it's... Yeah, but that bit of rust is actually like... I think that's in the side of the hull. So we might have to replace a bit of hull plating. Because it looks like it's actually lower than the deck. It might be right on the edge of the deck.
Hard to tell with all that rust.
I know. To chisel all this crap out. Look at that one. Looks like something you'd find scuba diving.
What is it?
It's just some rust.
Weird, eh?
That's the way it's formed.
So you just cut out the last... Oh, you're still in the process of
Yeah,
cutting out the
I
last
haven't even
fairlead?
gotten to it. You can't see it through here, but that's our fairlead. That's got to be cut all the way around.
But this is solid.
That's how much rust is in there.
That's not supposed to be there. That's crazy.
So that's like, I don't know, what is that, 4 inches? 5 inches of rust?
Something like that. 1.5 by 5 or 4. Pretty crazy.
Yep. This needed done.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh man.
Brutal.
That is brutal.
Yay! All done.
Well, yeah,
All cut
it's all
off.
chopped off, which is amazing.
Well done, sir.
It's like,
Oh, it's crooked.
yeah, like, I noticed that when I was cutting it, it was a little bit funky, but there's like a bow in it there, and then it's all fared in so it's straight.
Weird.
Yeah, it's like they had a problem with when they were welding it,
Very strange.
and maybe came from both directions or something. I don't know. That's very weird.
Some very strange patterns in there. That's exciting. I've been tearing apart the interior while Logan's been doing this because my wrist couldn't handle the power chisel. But pretty quick here I'll come back out and try to clean up all that rust.
Man, is it going to be nice to have these wider decks on here though.
So much nicer.
Like, we're gaining almost 2 inches,
Yeah, that's wicked.
which is, it doesn't seem like much, but it makes all the difference.
Yeah, when your deck's only like 3 inches wide or 4 inches wide, in some places 2 inches is a big deal.
Yeah, yeah, especially going forward from the cockpit, like, it's really tight in that area, and it's quite nice when you're sailing, because your hip can lay up against the pilot house and there's handholds right there. But if you're like just enjoying a nice day at anchor or whatever, going back and forth, even carrying something back and forth is just a pain.
Yeah, that would be so nice to have the extra couple inches.
And with a boot on, like a gum boot, my foot doesn't really fit in there. I always get stuck. It gets wedged in there somehow. Especially around here beside the cleats and stuff too. So
Yep.
I can actually put my foot in there now.
Yeah, that's awesome. The amount of rust on this side of the bulwarks was definitely more than expected. Some of these chunks had to have been the only thing still holding them together.
Like, look at that. Like, that's a lot.
So
there's some holes in the deck on this side.
holes seems to be like an understatement. There's like crevices.
So I was wondering, like, as we were welding the port side of the deck, I noticed as I cut it out, it dipped in between the ribs a bit, and we've been propping it up with sticks and using the dog and wedge to line everything up, and it's been going back together great. But I came over to check this side for dips, and it had a couple of pretty, you could see it in the Genoa track. It was a little bit snaky. Yeah, so now we know why those dips were there.
It's the holes?
Yeah. So I didn't realize it was going to be to the extent that it is,
It's real bad on this side.
but it definitely makes it easier to cut out.
That's fair, there's much less metal. Can you please show us with the light?
Here, first, these are ones I did not expect, but they're pretty sizable.
These are the small ones, by the way, as you'll see soon.
Yeah, I mean, they're about, you could definitely stick your fingers in them. Yeah, that would have made for a very interesting voyage if we had blown out one of the plugs in the outside of the bulwarks, or even the inside. Like, all the water on deck would have just gone in there. Or maybe it wouldn't have because of all the rust. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there was a good thick layer of rust. That probably would have stopped it or slowed it down quite a bit anyway.
But I believe we will be cutting out this entire side. Which is really unfortunate because it's going to be...
This is the difficult side to take everything out of, like interior-wise.
It'll be a lot of work, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Oh, there's Max.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, Max.
Max, up here.
Max, what's this?
Max.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi, buddy. What are you doing? Not paying any attention to us.
Do you want to come up here? Do you want to come up on the boat?
No.
No.
He's looking for snacks. That's all he cares about is snacks. Anyway, back to the holes.
Anyway, there's, like... I don't know if you can catch that on camera. Like, there's these dimples all along here. And it's almost through on every single one of them. Like, it's through right there. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole. All the way along.
Oh, and then these are the fun ones, guys. These are the fun ones. Do you see? Can you shine your light back this way a little bit? Yeah. Can you see the size of those guys?
Yeah, like this one here is probably, I don't know, 8 inches, 6 inches.
It's like there's no depth left.
Yeah, there's just nothing here. And this is where I was noticing the dips between the ribs.
Yeah.
This is also where we had
The rust holes coming
like
through.
the bubbles in the outer bulwarks that we had to try and repair. So There's basically nothing left of the bulwarks. The inner bulwarks, there was really nothing left of them. When I cut them off and threw them down, they pretty much split in half. Yeah, so in case anybody is wondering why we're doing this, this is why.
Yep. Did I get it? I did. Oh,
Yeah.
there was a mosquito on my forehead, in case anybody's wondering what happened there.
There's so many mosquitoes in here.
Yeah, so that's pretty intense.
Yeah, and then the holes just keep going as you go forward.
But these are the biggest ones.
Yeah, and we knew this was going to be the worst area. And this is basically underneath, like, the back wall of our shower is here. So this is basically in behind the shower. So we have to remove our black water tank and a whole bunch of other stuff to do this. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun. The problem that I see here is, like, this has obviously been rusted out for a long time, and I think, like, there's going to be nothing to weld it to on the outside.
Oh.
So we have to cut this out and have a look at the hull, because the hull might be, might be replacing bits of that, which I'm really not looking forward to doing anything like that, but it's got to be done. So
Fingers crossed it's not
fingers
into the
crossed
hole.
it hasn't completely. I hope the foam, like the spray foam's really stuck to it and has helped us out and hasn't caused it to, like, rot out in one other place, which at this point it doesn't really matter. We're already cutting out the bulwarks and everything else, so I think once we get the other side done, we'll move over here, gut this, and get this section cut out so that we know what we're dealing with,
Do it first.
and we can stop any rust that's continuing to go. Yeah.
Yep.
Man, that is disheartening.
So next we will continue on with this project. Don't worry, things don't feel nearly as depressing this time as they did on the other side. But wait until you see our interior. Thanks so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and otherwise cheering us on. And an extra big thank you to our patrons for giving us that extra boost of motivation. See you next week.